Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A former dance instructor was in court yesterday for multiple charges of solicitation of a minor. Kevin Thongvan met the female victim in 2021 when she was a 7th grader attending Champion Legacy Dance Academy. He's accused of sending her explicit messages and photos through Snapchat.
He started sending messages to her again this month. Thongvan also worked for the Sioux Falls School District, but stopped last week when the investigation began.
The end goal here is to get the people that are victimizing these kids to stop, hold them accountable for their actions, and the biggest thing we can do is to keep the kids safe.
Police say anyone with information surrounding this investigation should contact police. You can find more about the case with this story on KELOLAND.com. A man convicted of sex crimes twice in California is in the Minnehaha County Jail this morning. Thomas Tatar was in court twice on Thursday. In one case, he's charged with child pornography. In the other, he's accused of failing to update his address as a sex offender. A judge has set his bond at $100,000 cash only.
In 2012, newspapers in Riverside County, Southern California, reported on a year-long investigation that led to a raid of his home and his arrest. Around that same time, a federal case was also filed against him. He's sentenced to 5 years in federal case and another 5 years in the California case. One person was arrested after an incident in Canton earlier this week. Police say it happened in the area of East Lynn Avenue and North Grant Street Wednesday night. During the investigation, officers learned there was an argument in the park. The suspect left, but later came back and used their vehicle to hit the victim's vehicle, which had a young child inside.
The parents were able to get the child out and get away before the suspect started smashing the windows out of their car with a tire iron. Authorities say officers smelled a strong odor of alcohol while talking to the suspect, who later blew over 3 times the legal limit. They're facing a list of charges, including aggravated assault, domestic, and DUI.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Our weather update this morning, tracking several clusters of showers and thunderstorms out there. Let's take a look at the latest loop on the radar picture the last few hours. You can see a lot of the activity near Aberdeen. That's zipping to the northeast pretty quickly. Another line, though, that's developed across northeast Nebraska and extending just a little west of Sioux Falls. So again, we'll continue to watch those factors here today. Marginal risk of severe weather, that's painted in green there across eastern KELOLAND. And the numbers today, quite a contrast. Sioux Falls in the southeast, well into the 80s this afternoon, ahead of the front. And then where it's been raining and we've got more cloud pressure there, I would say the temperatures are limited a little more. Watertown especially might have some issues getting off the ground on those numbers, likely just holding in the 60s if we continue the rain chances. Otherwise, Sioux Falls easily into the upper 80s for a high today. That's a quick look at weather. We'll get to the rest of your forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. In the Bishop Dudley Hospitality House neighborhood, there is a group of homeless people who choose not to use the resources the shelter provides.
However, they stick around the shelter, and a local business owner has seen how it's changed the neighborhood.
And no one wants to bring their kid here, you know. Kids, we used to, when I first started here, 22 years, we would see kids walking down the sidewalk, heading over to Drake Springs to go swimming. You don't see that anymore.
If you want to help out the Sioux Falls homeless community, officials encourage you to donate to different shelters and programs that help provide resources instead of giving direct donations. The top rodeo competitors in the country are in Sioux Falls for the Cinch playoffs.
It's the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association's final event of the season, with more than $1 million up for grabs. It's also a Cowboys' last chance to make the National Finals Rodeo.
It's 11:59 on the clock, and the regular season ends Saturday night. So this is the last chance for contestants to really get that bump that they need to either, catapult themselves into, if they're already in the top 15 of the world standings, either the top 5 or to be on the outside looking in and punch their ticket to the final.
The rodeo runs through Saturday at the Premier Center beginning at 7:30 nightly. We've provided a link with ticket information under this story right here on KELOLAND.com. It's pumpkin picking time in KELOLAND.
I carried this all by myself. Whoa! Guys, look! Whoa! I carried this all by myself.
Cherry Rock Farms near Brandon had lots of young visitors this week.
The owner says there were some dry and hot conditions over the growing season, but the crop looks great. He says the farm has a variety to pick from, including the popular warty goblin pumpkins.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, some good pumpkin picking weather coming up, but we do have to dodge some thunderstorms this morning. I did overlay the map on the 30-day rainfall, so where we've had more moisture. Well, look at where the thunderstorms have developed. See, they started out in the west where it's rained more, and then they've headed up toward Aberdeen. We've had this line coming up from Nebraska. That's also a little bit of a source region where it's rained. Then you've got this big gap zone northeast of Sioux Falls through southwest Minnesota, where it hasn't rained so far as of about 7:30 this morning. But then look at this, where it's rained more the last, week and a half. Well, Minneapolis picks up the rain. That's not coincidental, by the way. There are things behind the source of the ground level moisture that influences some of these things. But we'll still watch southwest Minnesota, still see if we can catch at least a few cells. There's the radar map by 9 o'clock this morning. It's still more bullish west of Sioux Falls, a line that comes up here from Springfield to, let's put Mitchell, Huron, Brookings, Watertown, all on that list there. Even by midday, it still kind of hangs around. Sioux Falls, though, should be on the front side of that, and so mid and upper 80s are really likely as we go through the afternoon. We'll see if we still spark a couple things southwest Minnesota this evening. Again, I wouldn't bank on widespread rain, but there's still a settled chance there. Tomorrow, this front is going to reverse course. We're going to open the door to more widespread 80s, and that southeast wind will become stronger. Don't forget the wind speed by Sunday, too, is going to be awfully strong, 20 to 40 from the south. Highs today, low 80s in Mitchell, Sioux Falls 87, Yankton 89, and continue to watch these thunderstorms. Again, Brookings, Watertown, and Huron, the 7-day forecast. Well, we're likely going to start to see cooler weather by middle of next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. I still like the odds of some rain in some different swaths across the plains. We'll have to kind of wait for the specifics on that, but that scenario is still alive and well. So I think it warrants at least a 40% chance of rain. Aberdeen will probably pick up some rain out of that system as well next week, followed by cooler weather. And I'll tell you what, that day 7 number is just kind of the start. We could start cutting these highs another 10, maybe 15 degrees by the end of next week. So I think that there's more to that story. And Pierre and Rapid also going to see some significant declines. The latest European model data is forecasting 30s for lows in Rapid City by the end of next week. So I think we have found some fall-like weather. Check out more details online at KELOLAND.com.